in reference to the women who don't know they're pregnant. Now, to be honest, I've never had a uterus. I have had a few rough nights after large burritos where it felt like I was birthing something, but I don't know what it's like to have a uterus. So who am I to say anything critical? But I have, been partners with many women as they go through their periods, and I can't imagine that being pregnant is a more subtle experience than a period. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm shocked. Caseless Guy is saying it's completely different and different for everyone. True. I just think, most people I know, if they feel like, if they get if they feel weird for a week or two, they're like going to the doctor. I just can't imagine going 8 months and not feeling like, man, I don't know why. I'm just... Okay. So, keep in mind, I'm a man with a vasectomy. So, I'm so far out of my knowledge zone. Right, I can see how someone not knowing for the first trimester, although many women that I know, especially women that are, on the path of health and fitness and yoga, they know when they conceive. Like, they're like, dunk, it happened last night. Something happened. You home birthed both kids. Bravo! And you knew when you were pregnant. Carl's thinking about a vasectomy. Well, I also know when I ovulate. Okay, that's not true. Oh, you want to talk about vasectomy? Is it time? Are we in the vasectomy zone? Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Welcome, Dennis. Oh, Dennis is saying that perhaps there's some denial at play. And you know what? I think that's a really good point. It's kind of like when a parent of a teen has no idea that their kid is on drugs. It's like, really? I mean, it's one thing to say, there's nothing I can do, I'm going to love him no matter what. But to go, really? Your kid, it smells like pot in their room. It smells like pot in your house. And so when they told you that it was sage, like just believing it, part of that is you wanting to believe it. And so part of that, I think that the idea of like, wow, I just crave pickles and then have got this real crazy little pot belly. I think some of that is that the power of the mind is so incredibly powerful. I'm more and more my belief in that, and that the power of the mind is more than I ever imagined. I'm not a full bore power manifestation and think about a Porsche and you get a Porsche, but I'm getting closer to thinking that's true. And in terms of there's two huge scientific examples of how your brain controls your universe and defines your reality. The first is placebo. So if you believe that something is going to make you sick, it very well could. If you believe that something will make you better, it very well could and does on a statistically significant amount of people. So if that's true, then science says that our thoughts control our biology. The other big one, and this is, I think, closer related to the not knowing about pregnancy, is that of hypnosis. And hypnosis is a bizarre thing where if your mind can be tricked into thinking something is real, you physically experience that. Like they'll tell someone that this glass of water weighs 10,000 pounds and in under hypnosis, and the person cannot lift it. Their muscles, they cannot lift it. How is that possible? Because your mind defines your reality, and suddenly this is not something that you can do. And I think that there's some of that at play when you are not seeing the pregnancy. You're almost like, my reality does not include pregnancy, therefore no evidence of it will register. Crazy. And like there are people that can get surgery done, with under hypnosis, and they don't feel the pain. Wow. Freestyle Fox is saying that there are Shaolin monks who go out in the winter in snow and steam dried towels on their back. Bridie says there's a video to check out on YouTube, The Strange Powers of the Placebo Effect. Cool. I mean, to me, placebo and hypnosis are these two huge elephants in the room to people that pshaw all sorts of positive thinking and stuff. It's like, okay, face reality, but you know that reality changes based on what you think. That's not woo-woo, that's science. So are you going to use that to your advantage, or are you going to just ignore it and let yourself be passively impacted by the world? And these things are going to happen no matter what. Your mind is going to change the way you experience things. So do you want to get in the driver's seat, or do you want to be thrown in the back of the box truck? Dennis is saying, our perceptions have an impact on our reality. And perceptions meaning like our interpretation of our perceptions. Like a stimulus is perceived based on what we believe. That's so crazy to me. And I think that it happens in powerful ways. Like there's boy, ads can be distracting on Ustream, can't they? My apologies. I think that something that I've been becoming more and more aware of is that idea of the way that you see the world is how you experience the world. Meaning, if you truly believe that you don't deserve success, or you don't deserve love, or you don't deserve abundance, no matter how hard you work, you are not going to get it. No matter how much you think that, you have to actually believe that that is a reality, that is your truth, that is what you deserve. Jacob Glass has a line that says, you don't live the life you deserve. You live the life you think you deserve. And more I'm noticing in other people and in myself, as things shift, or my life doesn't get more abundant by me working harder. My life gets more abundant by me truly believing that I deserve it, and that's and just visualizing and seeing and believing that that's what my life should have. When I have a struggle, and when I have a frustration, and when I have a funk, that construct easily gets crumbled and easily falls apart. But when I'm in my high self, when the momentum is good, I think that there is powerful ways beyond science that actually, in the quantum physics realm of you make space for a reality in your thoughts, and it gets filled in. I listened to a great interview on Radiolab. Oh man, there's so many good things in it. Radiolab is such a cool podcast. But there was one about space. And they had two parts of it that were just so cool. One was an interview with the woman who was a creative director of the disc that was for the Voyager project. The gold record that they sent out into space beyond our solar system into the universe that hopefully will be received by some intelligent life in the next billion years. And so her job was to figure out, with her team, what are we going to put on this record? What sounds will we put on this record to basically sum up humanity? What a job. So the things that they included was hello in like 50 languages. They had humpback or whale songs. They had a baby being born and a mother's first words to their child. They have I think Mozart and Bach, maybe some Beethoven. They have some Chinese ancient music, really old compositions. And it was a really beautiful idea. And the interviewer was like, did you know kind of how poetic this task was at the time? And she was like, oh my gosh, we were very aware that this was a holy task. This was sacred. And she was working at the time with Carl Sagan. I shouldn't give all this away. You should listen to the podcast. It's really, so she and Carl Sagan were married eventually. And I encourage you to listen to the podcast on Radiolab to get the whole, if you're interested at all. It's just a beautiful story. It made me cry. And the other part that was really interesting on this space show is that it had an interview with Neil deGrasse. Is that his name? You know what I'm talking about. Neil, the Carl Sagan replacement. And not replacement, just he's doing the new version of Cosmos, and he's kind of the go-to scientist in questions about space. And he was talking about how over time, we first thought that the Earth is the center of the universe. And then we thought, when that got disproved, okay, we think our solar system is the center of the universe. Okay, we think, and the more we studied, the more we're like, no. We're Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Bridie. That, we get the more we study the universe, the more we realize that we're less and less significant. We're less a central player of this, this play. And then the mind blower for me was that he talked about dark matter. And so I am no scientist. In fact, I can barely listen to a podcast without, daydreaming. But my understanding of dark matter and this idea is that even within the idea of the known universe, we are slowly starting to believe that matter, as we understand the universe, is like 11% or less of the universe. So there's the majority of what is beyond the realm of matter and beyond the realm that we can measure with tools and all of we can't measure it, we can't see it, we can't understand it. And so if everything that we know, the limited piece of everything that we know is within 11% of the all, how can you be certain that anything is not real? How can you, all of a sudden, for me at least, all sorts of paranormal things, they've got a home. It's in this realm of non-matter that is actually the majority of our universe. Does that mean all paranormal things are true? No. It just means that taking out the science hammer and trying to smash everything and disprove stuff is like, okay, it doesn't exist in this part of the universe, but are we going to talk about this other area that we can't even look at? Okay, all right. Put the hammer down. It's all good. It's all good. So, that being said, when I listen to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, I find myself in this wonderful place of adoring science and also having no conflict with my woo-woo, spiritual, wacky, crystal-loving, alternate dimensions, multiverse stuff. And I love that. I love that in that space, to come full circle, with so little absolutes and so little concrete and so little walls in information and knowledge in the universe, it really allows us each to define our reality. And if we are defining our reality, doesn't it make logical sense to try to define it in a way that is pleasant and is uplifting and leads the way to a happier life? There are some that feel like it is a duty. You must try to be fair, and you must try to give equal attention to all that is negative and all that is horrific or whatever. But in this fluid definition of what reality and what the universe is, I think the logical thing to do is to define the universe in a way that makes you giggle and want to play and want to love and feel like, that's what I'm here for. So thanks for being a part of that world for me. I love you.